Excuse me, Mr. Parkinson of CPS. He's the Director of Public Prosecutions, which incidentally is the job that Keir Starmer had at one point, which he was about as much use as a chocolate teapot in. But I said it's vital that events in Britain are made public. The public have an absolute right to be able to see the videos of the riots and all the rest of it and debate them in what is the de facto public square. I said I've shared said videos and I very much look forward to the police visiting my home to pull me up about posting them as a broadcaster and all the rest of it. And this is what he had to say.
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred. So if you retweet that, then you're republishing that, and then potentially you're committing that offence. And we do have dedicated police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material and then follow up with identification, arrests and so forth. So it's a really, really serious. People might think they're not doing anything harmful. They are, and the consequences will be visited upon them.
I mean, that couldn't be more draconian if it tried. Ganesh on YouTube says that actually Starmer's army of cops, he has said he had this specialist team and they're going after right-wing people online. It's scary. And I agree it's scary because, you know, I've posted all these videos. I think people have a right to see that there is mob violence in this country on both sides before anyone starts. They have a right to see that. They have a right to debate the issues. They have a right to debate everything, by the way, that we've just discussed in this live stream tonight. It's very important that the public are able to see this because they wouldn't have seen it were it not for X, were it not for Elon Musk's free of censorship platform in which actually people are able to see what is happening to their country, in which there is two-tier policing, in which there is mob violence, in which there are Muslims walking around with weapons that aren't concealed and the police let them do it. And then the police come out and say, oh, well, we spoke to community leaders. They have a right to be able to discuss, debate, frankly, openly, with freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and the right of association. And the fact that we've got the Director of Public Prosecutions warning people against sharing these videos for fear of being seen to incite hatred, racial hatred, and all these other things, it's preposterous. It defies everything that we're supposed to stand for and believe in as a country. You know, we lecture the likes of Russia on press freedom and all these other things, yet we want to ban videos of riots because they're not going the way of our multiculturalism overlords who quite like all of this hyper-liberalism, World Economic Forum bollocks that's unleashed upon our country. So, I mean, Chloe, are you worried? Are you going to stop sharing things on social media?
I mean, I'm definitely not going to stop, but I'm pretty scared, actually, to be honest, after watching that. I'm quite worried that we're going to have phone calls and knocks at the door for just, I mean, just sharing a video that's on Twitter. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think that people called us, people like us, conspiracy theorists when we said, oh, if you get Keir Starmer, it's all going to go wrong and we're going to end up with free speech curtailed. And there was definitely a big red flag for me when we saw that the Labour government decided that they're going to scrap the free speech legislation for universities that was meant to come into force recently, and it now hasn't, to allow academic freedom. Very, very concerning stuff there. And it seems that they are going to use these riots as an excuse to bring in tyranny. I'm really, really scared, to be honest. I go on one of our Andre Walker's shows on Talk quite a bit, and he always jokes about how him and all the Talk presenters, after a bit of time in Keir Starmer's Britain, they're all going to end up in Wandsworth prison, and they're going to run a radio show from Wandsworth's prison, and they're going to get Julia Hartley-Brewer to identify as a man so they can get her in Wandsworth prison as well to be on the show.
One of our comments, Ali says, Darren, it's also scary that it takes out impartiality and giving people more different views and opinions and puts people on a very narrow path. Yeah, you only get the one view. It's the state mandated view. Take it or leave it. And when I said bollocks, I've lost the comment now. But someone, oh, there it is. Someone said, you leave Sandra Bullock out of this. And she's a very good actress. Anyway, right. So also this video from the police of an old man being arrested. This is what we're going to see more and more of.
Okay, so
What do you mean I can't have any alcohol?
okay, well I'll tell you. Okay, the time's 20 to 3, 14:40. I'm arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network. I'm just
What?
127 of the Communications Act. Okay, so you do not have to say anything that may harm your defence if you do not mention one question, something which you later are in court. Anything you do say may be given evidence. Do you understand that?
So I'm actually being
You're
arrested?
going to be arrested, okay?
Right,
Take you
and-
back to the police station.
Right.
Ask you, okay, this is in relation to some comments that you've made on a Facebook page. Okay?
Oh, really? Oh, it's a Facebook crime, is it?
Okay.
Right.
So we need to ask you some questions about that.
Right.
Have you got anything in your pockets,
I've got my keys. I got... No, that's about it, I think. Keys.
So, anyone who's been arrested, we can search them under Section 32 of the Police and Evidence Act.
Right.
And that's for dangerous items.
Hey,
Evidence
I mean, you said I was going to be arrested under some what?
That's humiliating.
Information. I'm going to be
We've had
arrested for
reports that
posting on
you've made
Facebook.
some comments that are offensive, obscene.
Who decides?
People have made a complaint about that, and it's transferred.
And
they've
can
come
you-
from
can you
a
tell me what
Facebook
this
account
comment
in your
was?
name.
We'll do
Okay,
that
well
in
we'll
an
do that when
interview.
we interview.
All right. And so,
Okay.
what am I going to be locked up for the night, or?
Hopefully
Well,
not.
hopefully not.
Right. Do I need to
Unless
take
you
my
film
medications
us.
with me?
How,
Yes, we will look at taking all of those.
when do you need to take?
So the elderly man asks about taking his medication in. I think he shouldn't have to take his bloody medication in for making a comment on Facebook. It's an absolute bloody outrage. And the fact of the matter is, I don't think anyone ought to be banged up ever, point blank, for posting quote-unquote offensive comments. Offensive to who? As Eunice just said, who is the arbiter of what is offensive and isn't offensive, right? Unless you've incited violence or something like that, I'm expecting these arrests to actually get a hell of a lot worse, and that's deeply troubling. And Eunice, I think we all feel a bit scared, and that's what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to put a chilling effect on speech and debate in this area.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're scared, they can't control the flow of the information like they used to. And when Elon Musk brought Twitter, I think you remember when there was a BBC report went and saw him. I was like, yeah, I saw a rise in hate speech on the platform. And he was like, can you give me a single example? And then he couldn't give a single example. And then Elon Musk called him a liar. And he said, you just lied. And they've realized they can't buy someone like Elon Musk, so they're going to try and crack down on Twitter. I'm actually quite scared for my social media pages. I've worked very hard in the last 6 or 7 months, where I just literally started my page like 6 or 7 months ago, and I have a bit of a following now, and I'm really scared at any point Meta might just take out my account on Instagram, or just take out, and I'm like, all that hard work of almost 1 years of hard work, and I would lose all those followers just for what reason? For what reason? I feel like that's like an asset, literally. It's like almost taking out your house. Like, it's a digital asset. It's something you make money out of. It's something that you connect with people with. You have all the people that you know, and all. So they're literally taking out your assets, and they will, like, if they start taking out social media accounts because of their opinions of the people that haven't incited violence. What stops them in the near future taking away your money? Like I said in a video a few days ago, giving you a social credit system. Oh, you said something we don't like, so you know what?
Yeah.
You might have 100 grand in the account, but you can't have it anymore. Sorry, we're going to take that away. Oh, you live in a house, or we're going to seize your house. Sorry. And that's a George Orwellian future, and we have to resist this. And that's one of the reasons I was actually thinking I might need to leave this country and go to America, because I
Well, the thing is,
yeah.
yeah, I've gone through the wording of the online safety bill to try and figure
It's
out
terrible.
Yeah.
what is the threshold where we say
Yeah.
that something is harmful, that it's hate speech, where I'm actually at risk of becoming in trouble with the law, and also social media platforms to come into trouble with the law, because bear in mind that this online safety bill, partly takes responsibility away from the individual and says that social media platforms, if we find hate on your platforms, we're going to fine you up to, it's a certain percentage of their annual revenue, which is, it could be an absolute huge fine for them. So that creates an incentive for them to censor massively so that they don't have to pay these fines. But the thing is that definition of where does it become hate, where does it become harm, it says in there something along the lines of it is the Secretary of State's discretion. So whoever the Secretary of State is, they can decide, what you said was harmful, what you said was hateful. There's no laid out criteria for it in the online safety bill. So that's very, very concerning. And also the fact that it's vague means that it makes people terrified to say anything. If people can't clearly know exactly what's allowed and what's not allowed, like I think that video from the CPS, it was very vague what's allowed and what's not allowed. That means people will be terrified to say or do anything that is extremely dangerous.
Have you got what it takes to be a reasoned presenter? Well, send us a short clip of yourself to join@reasoned.uk and we might be seeing you on this very channel very soon indeed.